Mia, munataka kurudi kwa moto ama munataka kuokoka? Munataka kuokoka? Njia ya kuokoka ni Baba. Nawaambia.
Mlikataa Raila. Raila alikuwa mtu wa kwanza kulilia watu. Raila ndio mwenye kuongoza hii nchi. Mpende.
Muniache niunge Raila kwa amani. Na mimi naambia nyinyi watu wa Azimio, hapa Rift Valley tuko pamoja. Petition ile ya pesa 8. Dawa ya hii Kenya ni kusupport Raila Amolo Odinga 100%.
Raila, tega sikio, tuko nawe hadi mwisho. Tuungane tuondoe Ruto, serikali feki ya uongo. Baba aregesha maandamano, hawa mafisi tuwaone kando. Ruto ainue mkono, Gachagua afunge mdomo.
Baba tapika maandamano. Baba tapika maandamano. Baba tuende maandamano. Wakenya wamechoka.
Sisi vile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimfuata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
Sasa tumesema siku ya Jumatano. Mko tayari? Mko tayari? Tumesema sisi si majambazi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, Open Forum Political Discussion Show, the show that gives an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, today has been a busy day, and therefore there are a lot of activities taking place. And so I almost debated not to come with this show, but because of the call of duty, I'm here. Let's get down to business. Well, as the Senate continues to look into the impeachment or proposed impeachment of the Meru governor by the MCS, something that I would also want us to weigh on the same. I want us on this particular segment of the broadcast to dive into the fuel price. If you've heard the energy CS, he has already warned that according to what he projects and the war in the Middle East, the fuel price will soon hit 300 shillings. And this is coming in the backdrop of Tanzania reducing their fuel. What else? South Africa reducing their fuel. And Uganda withdrawing from buying fuel through Kenya and switches to buy fuel through Tanzania. Now, amid all this, somebody still says he has reasons why the fuel in Kenya should cost more than the neighboring countries, even the landlocked ones. This is crazy. Why is this the case? We need to look into that. Then Ruto's borrowing spree. it's been reported that Ruto has borrowed more in 1 year than Uhuru borrowed in 5 years. Now, look at that. Whatever Ruto has borrowed so far in his first year in office is more than what Uhuru borrowed in 5 years. The question is, where is the money he is borrowing? Where is it going to? Why aren't Kenyans feeling the presence of new money into the economy? Is he borrowing for himself or borrowing for the country and for the economy? Something that you will need to tell me even as we start the conversation. Thank you. As you join, please remind somebody. And of course, I know others are following the proceedings from the Senate. But those of us that are here, let's get talking. Asante sana kujumika nasi. Naamini kwamba tutakuwa na wakati mzuri tu tunapoendelea na kipindi chetu. Kwa hivyo karibu na karibisha mtu, anza na kulike video. And then of course there is the poll we are asking, does the William Ruto team have what it takes to help this country? Does the William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? You can participate into the poll by voting yes or no. And before you do that, make sure you have liked the video. That is very important as it helps us rank well on YouTube and therefore get our content pushed to more people than usual. So please, it is important for you to react on the video. And if you don't like what you're doing, you can also dislike the video. So it's not just liking, even disliking is part of the reaction. What YouTube is interested in is for you to react on the video rather respond to the video in one way or another. I'm so happy that you're out there. Please, let's keep going. So government accountability crisis. Somebody said that what we have is not a government. It is a criminal enterprise. I don't know how you weigh on the same, but I think what is happening, if what Ruto has borrowed is more than what in 1 year is more than what Uhuru borrowed in 5 years, and there are no serious projects taking place, there's no expressway being built, there are no highways being built, there are no bypasses being built, there is something out of joint in this great country. And so I'm calling upon you to weigh on the same and tell us where you stand in all this. So karibu sana, tumia hiyo link, ingia studio, ukaseme ya kwako mawili matatu, tunapoendelea na masuala ya kuangazia masuala haya ya William Ruto na jinsi tutakavyookoka kutokana na uongozi mbaya wake. Asante sana. Kwa hivyo tumia hiyo link, ingia studio, ukaseme yako mawili matatu, tunapoanza kipindi kwa fujo, na tunaelewa kwamba ni lazima tutekeleze wajibu wetu kama tarehe. Asante sana. Namuona Frank ashafika. Frank, I hope leo umeachiliwa kusema yale yaliyoko moyoni mwako. Karibu. Vipi lakini? Okay, Frank ametupwa nje. Na kana mitambo hiyo sehemu yuko ni mbaya sana. Haya, karibuni kwa studio tukajadili masuala haya. Naona watu wanaendelea kujoin. Tafadhali endelea kushare hiyo link na endelea kupiga kura yako. Usitazame kipindi peke yako. Ni muhimu kujumuika na Wakenya tunapoangazia masuala haya kwa kina. Okay. Does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? So far 17 votes, and of the 17 votes, 12% say yes, 88% say no. Haya, tuendelee hivyo hivyo na likes za video tafadhali, tusongukae ngangari. Don't vote before you like the video. That's why they are parallel. We need to use one to confirm the other. So please follow instructions. It's important. We are not just unraveling ourselves. We really want you to follow due process, even as we seek justice for this great country. And so, according to what so far has been expressed through the, what is it called? Through the vote, it is clear that majority of Kenyans feel William Ruto's team doesn't have what it takes to help this country. Haya, tuendelee hivyo hivyo. Tafadhali tumia hiyo link, ingia kwa studio ukaseme yako ili tukakusikilize vizuri. Naamini kwamba tuko hapa na nafasi nzuri tu ya kutekeleza wajibu wetu kama wale ambao tumetunukiwa, na tuko na nafasi nzuri tu ya kukutana na Wakenya wa tabaka tofauti tunapoangazia masuala yetu kwa kina inayosaidia kufanya Kenya ikuwe bora na kila Mkenya awe na nafasi ya kutekeleza wajibu wake bila kutishwa au bila kuonewa. Of course, there are those who are uncomfortable with the way things are going, and they would want to hide the truth so that they don't get caught into the mix. But that's the wrong way to go about it. Somebody said, you'd rather hurt me with the truth than comfort me with a lie. Comfort me with a lie. We need lies that are being preached and pushed around in the pretext that things will just sort themselves out. I don't see nothing sorting itself out. If there will be a change, we must cause it. If there will be a turnaround, we must cause it. Therefore, we must begin by thinking differently, speaking differently, and doing differently. One way of staying on top of life issues is refusing to dance to the current music and going by the flow. You must come to a place whereby you have to choose the music by yourself, choose the dance by yourself, and dance your dance, even if it's contrary to the dance. Everybody is dancing. So if you're going to be a pioneer, if you're going to be somebody who charts the way forward, you must begin to choose a different music from everyone else, begin to choose a different style from everyone else, and begin to do what must be done to secure what must be secured. So let's keep going. Thank you everyone. Link ya kutumia kuingia studio nishaweka kwa comment section. Sijui tunangoja nini, na kipindi cha leo kitakuwa kirefu kwa sababu naona watu wengi wangependa kujihusisha na nini, na hiyo impeachment, na inaonekana hiyo impeachment mpaka ishe leo. Kwa hivyo we may just tune into that and stay there. So please get into the studio, sema yako mawili matatu tunaposonga mbele. Nashukuru kwamba tuko hapa tayari, kwa hivyo usichelewe, karibu ukaseme ya kwako. Hii maneno ya fuel, uko tayari kununua mafuta 300 shillings per liter ama NHCS anapaswa kushughulikiwa? Then Ruto's borrowing spree, why should he borrow more in 1 year than Uhuru did in 5 years? And the projects that he's working on, we can't see. Where is the money going? That's something that we need to question. And that questioning requires us to have a nerve to be able to pinpoint that this is out of order, this is not right. So let's be on the forefront, let's do what we must do. Let's secure the future by standing for what is right. Well, let's keep going. Thank you, everyone. I salute everyone who is making every session. As change is enforced, we must be part and parcel of that enforcement. Don't wait kudandia. You must be on the forefront. Ongoza mwongozo wako katika kufanya nini? Katika kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna na mrama wakati upo. Uwe mtu wa kutegemewa na uwe mtu ambaye utasaidia kizazi chako kama upo. All right. Let me see. Where are we? Mpo wapi nawasubiri hapa? Okay, thank you. Well, let's have a look at this even as we start out this conversation. Okay, this is one of the newspaper headline for today. Okay. Haya, na inasoma hivi: mipango ya serikali ya kunywa maji. Mipango ya serikali ya kunywa maji. Meaning everything that William Ruto has planned and worked out, it has all drowned. It has all drowned. None has worked. Everything has failed. That's why we are asking, does William Ruto team have what it takes to help this country? Hustler Fund, where is the impact? Fertilizer, where is the impact? Cut on subsidy, where is the impact? End to kazi mtaani, where is the impact? Why is the transformation not visible? Why are Kenyans still suffering when this administration is on? It simply means somebody is lost in his duty. He is not aware of what he is doing, and so things are falling apart under his watch. And so we must all look out and make sure that we don't fall victim of all this evil that has befallen this great country. So let's be secure our world. We can't pretend anymore. It is our civic duty to secure this great country, regardless of who thinks what where. Let's just I play a few clips to help us make sense, ensure that as we engage, we are engaging within the framework of what is going on and what Kenyans are doing and what Kenyans are speaking up on the going around of the fed up people in Nyeri telling of William Ruto. And when it has reached where it has reached, then unajua ni kubaya, okay? Unajua ni kubaya na lazima kila mtu, sababu hapa sio anadai haki. Wa Kenya wamefika kikomo, and that is a very very dangerous place. If you really want to be a leader, then you must adhere to William Ruto, to everything Kenyans are saying, kwa sababu yeye ni mjuaji, anajua kila kitu na anaamini kwamba kila mtu lazima msikilize yeye, la sivyo hana laki. Okay, let me see. Frank, if you can get me, how are you? Frank? Okay, it appears Frank has challenged. Let's just get this video and then as he sorts out his issues.
Per liter in Kenya. Reason? He says ni juu ya vita ya Israel na Hamas. Hey, wacha ni check. Yani wakati all over the world mafuta inapungua na all other governments are reducing the fuel prices including our neighbors Tanzania, who yesterday reduced their price to 197 Kenyan shilling. Sisi hawa wezi wetu tuliowachagua sisi wenyewe are devising and scheming ways to milk us dry. Msidanganywe na mtu yeyote, vita ya Israel will not and has not affected international crude oil prices. These wakoras have just found a new justification to increase the prices. Look at this video, then be the judge, we mwenyewe.
All right, let's start with the good news. Consumers will breathe a sigh of relief. The petrol price dropping this week. The Central Energy Fund announcing that the petrol price will drop by R1.78 per litre from November. The change always on the first Wednesday. Diesel will decline by between 82 and 85 cents per litre. Eliminating paraffin will decrease by R1.30. The Israel-Hamas conflict has not yet affected the flow of crude oil, even though it is happening in the oil region of the Middle East.
Ruto and his team of clueless CSs wameshindwa kuongoza. They are incapable of managing this economy, but hawawezi kubali. Madam Suluhu is in fact doing a better job in Tanzania than us. Juzi tu Uganda have refused to buy fuel from us juu ya hii upuzi iko huku Kenya. They will now get their fuel via Tanzania. That should tell you the underlying effect of this government mismanagement of this economy. At me, I shudder to think how life will be when fuel hits 300 per liter. 300 per liter. Imagine. 300 per liter. Kenye tunaweza waambia ni kuleni ujeuri yenu. Muliambiwa before this election, hamukusikia, mukasema sijui togo keratene, sijui nini nini. Nao nawaambia pia muokere tene, mukule yu shida yenye mlituletea kubafu.
Anatutoa huko juu anaturudisha chini, sisi ndio tunamuinua sasa. Tumechoka kabisa. Kama sisi mama mboga tumechoka, tumebeba gunia mpaka tumechoka. Hata rais alikuwa anatuambia ati anatoa mama mboga kutoka chini aende juu. Sasa sisi tunaona ni kama sasa yeye sisi anatutoa huko juu anaturudisha chini, sisi ndio tunamuinua sasa. Tumechoka kabisa. Kama sisi mama mboga tumechoka, tumebeba gunia mpaka tumechoka. Hapa penye nimekaa ninaongea na niko na huzuni sana. Yeye penye yako ajue mama mboga tumechoka na hata hatumtaki sasa, na hiyo ni rais yake. Mistaki kabisa kwa upande wangu, simtaki.
Haya ni maoni ya Wakenya ambao wamechoka na uongozi wa William Ruto kwa sababu hawaoni suluhisho kwa masuala yote ambayo anayazungumzia. Wacha tupate tena nyingine alafu tuta switch gears. Na wale mnaingia studio mkuje mapema.
Fanya. Ruto si kiongozi. Ni heri hata Raila angetusaidia. Sababu hatuoni Ruto kitu anafanya. Ruto si kiongozi. Ruto ni mtu tu wa kutunyanyasa na kutuumiza.
Yaani kuumiza tu sisi.
Kutuumiza. Hakuna kitu Ruto anatufanya.
Kila kitu anatunyang'anya tu.
Ukienda kotini
amezoea kunyang'anya. Tulijaribu Moi tukifikiria tu Nandi wako na uongozi, hakuna. Tumejaribu Ruto sasa tena. Sasa yeye ndio kuharibu zaidi.
Afadhali Moi.
Sasa hata tuone ni vitu gani yenye wanatufanyia hapa.
Okay, Wakenya ndio hao wanasema afadhali Moi. Sijui unaonaje? Ningependa kupata maoni yako. Tumia link tafadhali, ingia studio ukaseme yako mawili matatu tunapoendelea na kipindi. Kenyan would love, sijui uko wapi? I need to switch this machine. It's causing delay, so I am not flowing comfortably. Nataka mtu aje hapa kwanza ndio nione kama nitabadilisha hii gear ama itakuwa kwaje. But that's what you're getting from Kenyans. Wamechoka, hawataki story ya kusikiliza masuala ya William Ruto na ahadi zake tena. Wanasema hapa tumefika, hakuna haja ya kubembelezana. Kumeharibika, and that is what should be. So quickly, as we get down to business, please, let's be on the forefront. Invite somebody, participate into the show, and let's see how far we go with this. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Tukutane Sound Candy Talk.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk. Watch, share, like, subscribe.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Please, let's keep going. Frank, I can see you're still buffering. I hope it works. Try to mute your camera so that you work with audio only. You seem to have issues with your net. I trust everybody's okay. Wherever you are, let us know you're watching from where, and please make sure that umevote. Asante sana kwa kila mmoja anayehusika katika kipindi chetu. Hebu niangalie kura tumefikishia wapi. Haya, kura ndio hiyo. Does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? So far, 42 people have cast their vote. Now, please, 42 people have cast their vote and likes are still 7. Tafadhali, tunaomba tafadhali usipige kura kama huja like video. You are messing up our program. All in all, 43 people have cast their vote, and of the 43 people who have cast their vote, 7% say yes, and 93% say no. William Ruto and team don't have what it takes to help this country. Yes, Frank, how are you? Frank, disable your camera to see whether your audio can work. Your net is too low. Okay, it appears Frank has challenge with his internet. Well, we'll keep going. Asante sana kwa kila moja. Let's get this out of the way, even as we look keenly into okay. All right, one moment.
I understand what they're doing. Don't worry.
You said it's fine.
Professional, no problem. We'll be professional today. No problem. Professional. Let's do it. Hey, I'm giving him my passport right now. This is my visa, so we're gonna see what's in here today. Okay, let's see it. How many perfumes?
It's a gifting.
How many? Big family.
Yeah.
So you want to remove the perfume? Hammer wants something. What's the problem?
Excuse me, sir. Do you feel you are unfairly being treated?
I mean, honestly, she's actually feeling that way because we got everything on our face. And second of all, we got nothing to hide.
Okay.
Everything is over here, but we just don't want to be harassed because just because we're bringing gifts to our family members that live in Kenya, we have to go through all of this. Look, we came from America. This has been checked. Coming over here, this has been checked. So now we have to check again, which is very unprofessional, but I'm cooperating. I'm going to go ahead and do whatever you guys want to do, but I'm not going to let you guys take anything away from my stuff. That's it.
Would you want to tell us your name, sir?
Nah.
Don't get annoyed.
It's so annoying because I got the cameras in front of me, everything, and you guys is taking screen time.
Okay, we leave it here.
Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the mix. We were switching gears and it's like sikupata mtu wa kuachia jikoni, but I think we're here. If you're able to get me, please confirm. And I think here we can now flow without much problems. Asante sana. Makinika mahalo pote.
You are watching Sound County Talk. Watch, share, like, subscribe.
Maneno ya kutafutana na Uhuru Kenyatta wachana nayo. Uhuru alifanya kazi yake akaenda wapi? Nyumbani.
If they continue this thing about Uhuru Kenyatta, they are going to see the things they've never seen from some of us. You will hear what they call broadly inclusivity. Inclusivity is nusu mkate. That is why they want us to give them a blank check. Lakini ngo, there will be no blank check. The issues that were agreed on are 5 issues. If you don't want to take that, I told them yesterday, please go back to the streets.
Calling yourself a Democrat when you loot all the resources of your country, mislead people, torture them, imprison them, burn their businesses to us, and you call that a democracy or a civilian rule and an illegally elected government? The leaders must stop lying to their electorate first. They must stop the corruption. They must stop looting our resources. They must understand that they are not a better citizen than anybody. They are given a responsibility, a role to play to help develop the countries and make sure that there is peace and tranquility and respect the constitution of the country.
Democracy depends on strong institutions, and it's about minority rights and checks and balances and freedom of speech and freedom of expression and a free press and the right to protest and petition the government and an independent judiciary and everybody having to follow the law.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad you're watching. Thank you so much for making time to be part and parcel of the great conversation on Sound Candid Talk. We are glad you're participating into our poll and then, of course, being on the forefront of saying what you feel and think about the whole scenario rightly. Okay? Wamboi Jacob says, Kenyans, what are we waiting for? For Kenya to die? A question is posed there. We need to respond to the same. Okay, Simba Omar said, he said, wao wenye kulia walihongwa wakauzia Zakayo kura zao waendelee kulia damu shaurie zao. Haya, hao ndio wa Kenya wanasema hayo mambo tuliyamaliza. Hey, God have mercy. Well, thank you so much, everybody who is participating. Penny Nyagaga says, Northern Kenya is flooded. Let us help them like we did before. You, the leader. Mzee Nyagaga hapo, anasema Northeastern kuko flooded. Tuwatengeneze msaada. We will consider that and see what can be done. But in my opinion, that is not supposed to be a surprising issue. William Ruto has been seeing that happening, and he needs to own up. Yeye ndio alienda kwa TV akasema kuna El Nino. Alisema El Nino haikuji. Kwa hivyo watu wasijiandae. Ile hela zilikuwa tumechanga tayari ya El Nino, sijui aliipeleka wapi. Sasa sai El Nino ndio hiyo, inabeba mifugo, inabeba watu, inabeba ardhi. Kutakuwaje? Haya, tuendelee mbele. Nashukuru kila mmoja anayejiunga nasi. Tafadhali tukue mstari wa mbele kuhakikisha kwamba tunatekeleza wajibu wetu kama Wakenya ambao wanapenda nchi yao na wanafanya nini? Wanasimamia haki kwa vyovyote vile. Well, as we look at this, I want you to be on the forefront in ensuring that you are participating into our poll. But more than that, I want to see likes, likes on the video. Thank you so much. 39 likes so far. Asante. Okay, 52 votes on the poll. Does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? 8% say yes, 92% say no of the 52 people that have cast their vote. Thank you so much for participating, and please let's be on the forefront ya kukaribisha mtu, hakikisha kwamba hakuna mtu anasalia nyuma katika kujua ukweli. Na hapa tunataka kufungua ama yes, to reveal the truth behind the fuel crisis. Okay, what is the truth behind the fuel crisis? Why has Museveni abandoned Kenya to go and get fuel from Tanzania? Why has Suluhu reduced the cost of fuel when Chirichir, the CS for energy, is threatening that the fuel price is going to go higher, and he's even named the price that it will soon hit 300 shillings per liter? what is wrong with the fuel issue in Kenya. Hiyo ndio nataka tuambiane ukweli. Who is behind this? Initially, Ruto alikuwa anasema kuna cartel katika energy ministry. There is cartel, there is what? Now that he's in charge of the affairs of this country, has he not arrested the cartel? Has he not put them to checks? What is it that he's doing wrong that is making life unbearable for Kenyans? Let's get talking. Thank you everybody. Tumia your link, ingia kwa studio ukasema yako mawili matatu tunavyoendelea na kipindi cha usiku wa leo. Nashukuru kila moja, naamini kwamba kila kitu kitakwenda sawa sawa. I am aware that we have another feed for the Senate proceedings in the proposal by the MCAs of Meru County to impeach their governor. And from the look of things, those MCAs needs help than the governor. I don't know, sitaki kuingilia sana, mimi sio senator, lakini hiyo witnesses wamelete na yale maswali wanavyojibu, mimi naona ni kuhujumu tu huyu mama bure. Hakuna kitu hapa. Na ni aibu sana. Ni aibu sana kuimpeach mtu mara mbili ili hali hamna chochote ambacho mnasimama kinyume naye, ni wivu tu na kujaribu kuhujumu. Na she's an independent governor. Independent governor. Mbona mnamlazimisha aingie katika siasa za parties? Okay? If she's independent, she should operate independently. Why are you sucking her into your party politics and try to make her your party wherever advocacy? She's an independent, and her independence requires her to work with the masses. You don't want her to interact with the masses. How now? The masses that elected her are her constituency. Since that she's not associating with a political party, she is not from any political party, then she should work with the people directly. So why should the MCAs of Meru and the people of Meru curtail their governor from working with the people? I don't understand it. And so this country is falling apart. If we don't wake up and arrest the situation, I don't see us going far. So please, let's be on the forefront in doing what we must do. And of course, concern ourselves with what should concern us. I've not seen those MCAs talking about the cost of living. They are not talking about the state of life in Meru and the education in Meru, the healthcare in Meru. They are all talking about things that to me are not adding up. So labda mimi ndio sijasoma sana, lakini mtanieleza nyinyi wasomi kama hawa MCAs wanafanya kazi yao. Asante, tuendelee tafadhali. Nani huyu? Mimi nawasubiri muingie studio. Kabla tu switch, tulikuwa tunacheza ile video ya yule msafiri amefika Jomo Kenyatta Airport. Okay? Ameambiwa, ameshurutishwa mifuko yake yote ifanye nini? Mizigo yake yote ipekuliwe. Okay? Na yeye anasema anakubaliana nao waendelee, lakini ametoka wapi? Amerika. Mikoba yake imekaguliwa katika different airports alipokuwa anakuja, lakini hajaona kitu ambacho ameona Jomo Kenyatta. So anasema this is unprofessional, lakini kwa sababu mnataka hivyo basi iwe hivyo. So swala hapa tunalouliza ni kwamba Ruto anataka nini? Ataki wageni waje ama anatakaje? Kwa sababu you cannot just interfere with everybody's life. There are protocols, there are ways of handling things. You can't just get in and begin now to turn everything upside down. No, you want to turn the airport into a marketplace because that's what you want. Unataka airport ioperate kama Marigiti. Ukifika na mzigo, ukate ticket kwanza, ndio uingie nayo sokoni. Usipoingia nayo sokoni, sijui mini utazuiwa na hiyo mambo yote. Why are we backtracking on what was achieved by Uhuru Kenyatta in advancing this country, advancing the infrastructure of this country, making us internationally viable as possible, make our airport to be viable and compete with the rest of the world's standards. Now we are returning our international airport into a marketplace, all of it in the pretext of trying to get an extra tax from somebody. Kenyans, let's reject this madness. We should stop all these things happening. All in all, let's get talking. Thank you everybody. Sijui mko wapi, naomba tafadhali kuja kwa studio ukaseme yako mawili matatu. Mimi hapa nisipokuona unakuja basi nitaanza kujipanga. Okay? Nitaanza kujipanga. Nimekuwa kwa studio tangu asubuhi saa ngapi? Tumeanza matangazo yetu saa 5 asubuhi na mpaka saa hii bado tuko ange, tunahakikisha kwamba hakuna linalokupita. Kwa hivyo we need you to be here and say what you need to say. Tuni anasema Kawira, she is not going anywhere. Kawira is to stay. I agree with you, because if we have any brains in that Senate, nobody should vote against the performing governor. Those MCAs are the ones to be arrested, because I have not seen their case since they began to talk. They are just talking about hearsay. There's nothing credible. Umeulizwa vizuri, gari gani liharibiwa? The number plate. I'm happy that I was not in that Senate, because such madness should not arise on the Senate. Senate is the upper house ambayo inashughulikia masuala ambayo ni ya hali ya juu. Mbona wamebadilisha Senate kuwa ni mahali pa kuleta mchezo? Ati wewe umeswear affidavit kuja kusema magari ya county iliharibika kwa mkutano wa Kawira. Gari gani? Huwezi kusema. Number plate huwezi kusema. And you are an MCA. How do you get a case to that level without having credible evidence towards what you are claiming? This witch hunt and all this gossip of leadership needs to stop. Na mtanisaidia tu hata mkinichukia. Asante sana. Wamboi Jacob sema all the suitcases go through scanning. If they see something suspicious, then they can recheck you. But don't open my suitcases, please. It's normal, okay? Our luggage is scanned, okay? And when they see something suspicious, they will put that particular specific luggage that has something suspicious aside. That's the only one that will be open. But this one of opening and displaying everything on the table, hiyo ni ya Zakayo peke yake. Na Zakayo lazima angatuliwe. Hii story ya nyinyi mnavumilia Zakayo, mimi sioni huyu Zakayo akivumiliwa. We can't take it anymore. So turudi kwa ile come on. No way. There was a time, let me just give you a story. Vile mjaingia studio hasa, basi mimi endelee na story yangu. There was a time I was coming from Lusaka. Yes, I went to Lusaka for a church function and came back by Rwanda Air. Now, I'm not campaigning for Rwanda Air, or I'm not decampaigning Rwanda Air. But I think their services are good. I enjoyed their services. The only place I didn't enjoy was at Kigali. Okay? Because we were using Rwanda Air, so we had to make a stop over at Kigali and then take off for Nairobi. And that is a place I would not want to pass there again, ever again. Okay? So I'm carrying my luggage, my laptop, my items, the personal effects. So kufika hapo mahali pa scanning, after scanning, mnatoa kila kitu. Mnatoa viatu, mnatoa belt. Hey, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So we left Lusaka. Our luggage was scanned, were checked, was scanned as we got into the plane. This is a handbag for laptop. Then we have already passed through the scanner. Then reach this place and say now we cannot even pass there with our belts on. We can't pass there with our shoes on. We have to remove the laptop from the bag. So things are scattering, and we are queue and the plane is waiting. We are supposed to connect and get to Nairobi. I don't understand why we do these things. Okay? Because it is either we want to facilitate the movement of the people or hamper it. And if that is what now Ruto wants to introduce in Jomo Kenyatta, oh my God, I don't know if that can work, because Jomo Kenyatta is not Kigali. Hey, all in all, asante, naomba tafadhali tusonge mbele. Mbona haya we Dominic, enda pole pole. You're tempting me to go to the Senate. Now, all in all, asante kila mmoja, naomba tafadhali tusonge mbele. Nani huyu ambaye ana la kusema? Kama hamna la kusema, basi mimi nitafunga hii session. Sote tuende kungoja matokeo ya Kawira katika uamuzi wa Senate. Okay, 55 minutes into the show, 59 votes, 41 likes on the video. Thank you so much. And then, of course, of the 59 people who have cast their vote, 8% does. Okay, the question is, does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? 8% say yes, they have what it takes. And 92% say no, they don't. Well, I don't know where you belong, but all signs and all indications are showing that William Ruto is a confused element. He doesn't know what he's doing, yet he's busy doing it. There is this, what is it called? It's called Nollywood, the Nigerian movies, where we have this, the two short boys, now they are fully grown men, but when they were acting as schoolboys, small boys, so there was this particular movie where I think Samuel Ogo, the late, was acting as their father. And so they were twins, and one twin were they twins or something? So one was liked by the mother, one was liked by the father. And so the one liked by the mother was being pushed so that he can go and marry Igwe's daughter. And the only way to get closer to the Igwe's daughter needed somebody to coach them for mathematics. And the guy who was loved by the mother, who the mother wanted him to get to the Igwe's palace, did not know anything as far as mathematics is concerned. He had no idea what mathematics is. But he's already at the palace because the smart guy has been, kidnapped and pushed away so that he misses the opportunity to go and meet the Igwe's daughter. And so the guy asks the father, now that I don't know mathematics and you people have given me assignment to go and coach the Igwe's daughter, what do you want me to do? And the father, Samuel Oko, those of you who know the hilarious guy, he answered and said, if you don't know what to do, keep doing what you know. So the guy went to the palace and ordered food. Ordered every food that can be cooked. So he was eating chicken, meat. She said, why are you doing this? I'm doing what I know. I was told, since I don't know this other one, I'm doing what I know. And I think the Ruto government is like that, okay? Since they cannot do mathematics, they cannot manage the economy, they are doing the eating that they know. And that's why the country is not moving. So, ladies and gentlemen, wakati umefika tuanze kuambiana ukweli. What's cooking in this country? Who is doing what where? Asante sana. Naomba tumakinike. Nashukuru Domi amefika. Domi, namna gani?
Niko salama kabisa.
Oh, wewe ulihepa debate ya makanisa, sasa umerudi kwa economy. Jana tukaambiwa na Ng'ang'a hiyo maneno ya kucontrol mwachana kabisa, mgoje yeye amalize kwanza, mnashughulikia hawa watu wengine. Sio zikashindwa amalize nini?
Kwani kuhubiri inaisha? Pia uchungaji imeisha. You know, I don't know whether Ruto alikuja na uchawi ama nini. You know, there's something that has just happened all of a sudden in Kenya that is just, it's just very funny. It's just all institutions have failed, courtesy of one person. You can imagine the anti-corruption is not working. The judiciary is not working. How do you call this? Everything. Finance
sector, healthcare,
education sector is
everything.
Like mess. It's in a mess. You can imagine what is happening in universities. It's crazy. Now, furthermore, now the worst of all, okay, people are saying that this guy is coming to bring revival in the nation because he belongs to God. Unfortunately, sasa ndiye amepaka jina la Mungu matope kabisa. And then, now everybody is like, now hata watu wanaogopa kwenda kanisa because now people are scared. What are you going to be told in church? Wachungaji wanaogopa hata kuhubiri, just courtesy of one person. So this now, okay, before I go to the topic, there is one thing. I was watching the Senate, the proceedings in the Senate. Yani mpaka nimekuwa nikicheka. I was just laughing. I'm wondering what is going on in Meru. Meru kuna watu wakubwa kweli? Do we have elders in Meru? I'm wondering how do you make a case against a woman, mwanamke? Yani wanaume mnasanyana pamoja kupiga mwanamke vita out of practically nothing. Somebody comes to the Senate telling them that the vehicles belonging to the county government was stoned in the meeting. In the meeting that was in this in a meeting that belongs to the governor. Okay, to this I don't know how they call this. I can't remember how they call this organization of the organization of the governor. He's saying that the vehicles belonging to the county government, when you check the owners of, when you go to do the search, to get the owners of the vehicles, it is not the county government. Really? And a whole man, mwanaume mzima, umekuja kwa Senate to accuse a woman and bringing an evidence that does not exist. Anakuja anatuambia ati anakuja anasema anakuja kuambia Senate ati the governor anakuja kuambia Senate ati governor alikuwa ametumia somebody, I can't remember the name, anatumia somebody pale to swindle money from the county government. Now, when they go to check in the records, every transaction, the deputy governor is part of it. Every transaction, the deputy governor is part of it. You see, they went to withdraw money, they asked for money for facilitation. The people who are facilitated is the deputy governor and some other people. Okay, this guy, the deputy governor with other people, and they were facilitated to go for some journey. Now, until he's been asked, now between the deputy governor and the governor, who is supposed to be questioned about this? The deputy governor with some crowd singing some nasty things against the governor. You know, a whole deputy governor singing some nasty with a crowd singing some nasty things against the governor. Until now, he's asked, if you were to be asked about this guy, do you think this deputy governor is fit for to take that position of a governor? He said no. Now you cannot. He has not been able to link the governor to anything wrong. But the deputy governor, who is fighting the governor, is carrying all the wrongs. Until he's asked, okay, when you found out that this is wrong, did you ever call the deputy governor to question? No. Really? What are you talking about? Now, I think, let me say 80% of what this guy was bringing was being trashed in his own eyes. Mpaka anauliza swali. Until he gets to a point whereby now it's like he's posing he's trying to tell okay, he's been asked. Now, according to me, according to you, do you see, according to you, can you see any evidence that you have brought? Is there any evidence that you have brought? He realizes that he doesn't have any evidence. And he's turning to the person questioning and to ask him, do you also have any evidence? No, the speaker told him, no. It is you that has brought the case. You are the one who has a burden to prove. I think so far that's very demeaning to the people of Meru. I'll tell the people of Meru, tafadhalini, you have no elected leaders. And I may say that so far up to that point, I've seen only the governor is the only elected leader that they have. They don't have a senator. The senator is also equally, let me not use that bad word, because when I remember some days ago, Sifuna was asking so hard questions, and it is like, no, you are not supposed to ask such a questions. You are not supposed to ask anything about our county. Leave it to us. And it's like, no. Even the speaker told him, no. It is a collective duty for the whole Senate. If there be anything wrong, it is the duty of the whole Senate to question. It is not only you. Now, You see, it only proves that even the senator is also not effective. Is that what we need? And the whole thing, what I'm seeing is that the whole thing is that the governor has like outsmarted them. The governor is doing so well that they are jealous of him, of her. That is what came out. I'm wondering what is going on in Kenya. And I don't know, I really don't know who is instigating this fight. I don't know. But if there is somebody, then that person is really... okay. There is something you have said, you said, Mr. Chairman. I don't know, really. I don't know whether we should call Ruto a failure or a saboteur. To me, it's more of a saboteur than a failure. You know, a failure is better than a saboteur. A failure, a person got 0. Okay, let's take an example. Somebody that got 0 is a failure. But if somebody is not gotten 0, is getting negatives, that one should not be called a failure. That is a saboteur. He's just there to sabotage the whole nation. If anything, really, is there anything that we can be proud of? Kwanza tena nahurumia sana the community the president comes from. I've had I had some the clip, one of the clips that you see. People say those guys who are saying, you see, we thought Moi, we thought that Moi was bad, but this one is terrible. Even now, I better Moi for 24 years. What Moi did in 24 years, the negative that Moi brought in 24 years, this guy has brought in 1 year. Just in 1 year. The whole nation is in terrible. The whole nation is in pieces. I don't know how we are going to collect this nation. Reverend, I don't know how much you are going to pray so that things turn around. Mungu atusaidie. But now, unfortunately, God also, you know, there's also one thing that Christians sometimes we lose on. You see, it is only a few times, if we are going to look at the Bible, it is only a few times that God took over the whole battle and fought it for the children of Israel. Many of the times he gave them power, he gave them the ability and sent them into the battle to fight. There are only countable times that God did everything as the children of Israel were seated. We can count probably in the bringing down of Jericho. In fact, God brought down the walls of Jericho, but he sent them to fight to possess it. You can remember the time of Gideon, when God went and fought the whole, caused confusion there, and people killed each other. But we can remember so many times when he sent them into the battle. He tells Moses goes up the mountain, holds the staff up, but Joshua was on the ground fighting. So there is a greater percentage of us to do the work. The greater percentage is for us Kenyans to do the work by ourselves, to work things out for ourselves. God will just give us the ability, but we have to do things. We are expecting God to come and do everything for us. That is why you get everything wrong. Christians, we need to learn how to read the Bible, to some to Biblia vizuri, because I think that's where we are not getting right. We need just to get to read the Bible well and interpret it right. How comes mataifa zenye hata waamini Mungu, they are very far from God. They do things right. Go to Netherlands, go to Finland. Those guys don't even go to church, but they believe in doing things right. What about us, people who know God? We do wrong things. We support wrong. We support wrong people. That's why we are where we are. So sometimes tusilaumu Mungu, problem iko na sisi wenyewe. Wacha niachie hapo hivyo Reverend.
Okay, so Brother Domi, we appreciate that. There's a book I read some years back. I think it was called something to do with excellence. And I was a pastor who had moved in a new location. And right beside the entrance of the church, there was a heap of debris. Okay, while they were constructing the church, they heaped that rubbish in the place. So the pastor woke up, started to dig the place, and turned the place into a garden, very beautiful garden. And so one of the neighbors who was passing there noticed the change, the transformation in the place. And he stopped. That person was an atheist. He did not believe. Was he an atheist or something like that? So he stopped to greet the pastor. He said, "Hey, pastor, I see you are doing a great job here. This place is beginning to look wonderful." And the pastor responded and said, that's what happens when somebody begins to cooperate with God to do something. He said, "Did you see the place, how it looked when we left it all for God?" So when we left it all for God, nothing happens. But if we cooperate and begin to do something, we can make something beautiful out of it. It is important that we take responsibility as a people, not this business of tumwachie Mungu. Mungu anatusaidia ndio, Mungu anatupigania ndio, lakini kuna sehemu yetu. Na sehemu yetu ni kuwajibika. One of my seniors in the faith says, God will never do for you what he asks you to do, no matter how long you ask him to do it. So huwezi kuwa prayer warrior mpaka ufike mahali ambapo umeomba sana mpaka Mungu ameanza kukufanyia kile alikuambia ufanye. Whatever he asks you to do, you will have to do it by yourself. And that's why I have every reason to stand against the bishop of last Sunday who was saying that they made this government by prayer. That is even unconstitutional and spiritual and biblical. Because God honors the rules of men. And God honors the rules of men in the sense that if we make a president by prayer, that's a fake president. That's not how our president is made in Kenya. If you're going to be president in Kenya, you need to be voted for by Kenyans and you need to get the majority of the vote. If they prayed you into presidents, you are wrong. You are the wrong person into that office because you don't become president by prayer. You become president by what? Majority of the vote of Kenyans. So you know, kuna vitu ambazo tunasherekea na vimekwenda kinyume tayari. Okay? So when the bishop begins to say he made this government by prayer, then you know he has violated the constitution. Okay? He has gone against God's word and he's busy propagating it as a truth, which is a bigger lie. And so we as Kenyans need to appreciate that we cannot live in isolation and we cannot ignore what is a problem and expect it to solve itself. We must wake up and begin to do what we must do. And what we must do is begin to interrogate ourselves and begin to check these things for what they are. Is it what God wants done, or we are just doing our own thing? All in all, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate everybody for participating into the poll. Unfortunately, we have the poll only on Sound Candid Talk. Those of you following us on Sound Candid Talk live, I was not able to do that. The machine I started the show with had issues, But I think you can still vote from wherever you are by participating into the poll and voicing out your thoughts. Likes on the video. Please to the same vizuri. In fact, the instruction is in the poll. Okay? Like the video and vote. Begin by liking the video, then vote. So far, we have 80 people who have already cast their vote. 81 people have cast their vote. That's William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya. 7% say yes, and 93% say no. Let me just play that clip again from the airport so that we can be up to speed. And even before that, wacha nilete hii kwanza. Hey, mimi nakwambia hii nchi. If you did not see this, just look at this.
Ingia pande hii bwana. Hapo. Ingia.
Sina naogopa.
Don't fear my breath.
Usei. Enda saidia.
Brother, usigope.
Current situation ya muskari.
Tukiambia nyinyi daraja imekatika. Unafikiri ni uongo.
So I want you to look at that. That is a KCSE invigilator taking the exam. Okay? The bridge has been carried away by the floods. And so he has to go through that crane. That is not even, traffic rules don't allow that. So to me, God have mercy. So I think this country is in a mess. So unaingia kwa hiyo crane ipeleke. So ikishapeleka mwalimu itapeleka wanafunzi pia ama kunaendaje? Na wakikutana kwa hiyo crane si exam imeleak tayari. Inakuwaje? The country called Kenya is out of joint. Ladies and gentlemen, tuache mchezo. Inchi lazima tuikomboe na lazima tujitolee mhanga kuikomboa kabisa kabisa. Okay, let's listen to this one as we continue.
By the way, hapo ni wapi?
Nimeulizia hiyo video sijaambiwa, but it looks like somewhere in either Mount Kenya or something like that.
With soaring inflation and a high cost of living, the government is failing to tackle it. Now they've run out of cash. Kenya does not have money to pay the salaries of government employees. There is a major cash crisis in the country, also a public debt crisis. The government borrowed money left, right and center, so debt has soared, and so has the interest on debt. It has touched $5 billion per year, $5 billion in interest payments on domestic debt. It is 5 times what it was a decade ago. Here's a report. Kenya's future looks bleak. It is facing one of the worst economic crises. It's been hit hard by a cost of living crisis. Food prices have risen by almost 16% within a year. People are unemployed and hungry. There is growing anger. And on top of this, now there's a major cash crisis in Kenya. It means exactly what it's called. Kenya does not have enough money available. So it can't do the things it usually does, like pay salaries. Public sector employees are not being paid their dues. Civil servants, including lawmakers, did not receive pay last month. Other government workers have gone 3 months without theirs. The impact has been worse in rural areas. Experts say there are fears of major social upheaval. Threats of potential workers' strikes have been made. Notifications of boycotting work have been shared. If this happens, the country may come to a standstill, and Kenya cannot afford this. Because delay in salary payments is not Kenya's only problem. And not just the workers, county governments are broke too. They haven't received money from the center. So health and education spendings have taken a hit. But the government does not seem too worried, which is perplexing. Presidential Economic Advisor David Nadi says he has good reason. He says workers will begin receiving their salaries soon, probably by the end of the week. He blamed the cash crisis on bad timing and low revenue streams, meaning there aren't enough sources to bring money in the country. He says the situation will improve soon, which is something the government has been saying for a while now. But the crisis has been worsening. Last month, the government paid off some interest on external debts, so it was left with less cash in hand. There is also growing public debt, $72 billion of it, and a cost of living crisis. Annual inflation was 9.2% in March, well above the central bank's target. This led to weeks of protests in the country. And all this as the Kenyan shilling weakens. Its exchange rate is tanking to historic lows. This has pushed up the cost of imports. About 6 million people are suffering acute food shortage. All in all, the situation is dire. But yes, one can call it bad timing. Kenya's economy is racing towards a cliff and racing against time. 2024 could be a crunch point. There is strong and ongoing support from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The country has a $2 billion euro bond, but it expires next year. It needs repaying. Kenya is trying to come out of this. If redeemed successfully, pressures can ease for Kenyans. But the government is not sure when the cash crunch will be resolved. And the people are not sure if the government is doing enough to resolve it. Because the economic pain is intensifying. Kenya resembles a loaded but slow-motion train wreck. Coming out of this will not be easy.
Okay. On the outlook, that is what we are faced with, and the drivers don't know where we're going, but they keep encouraging us that we'll get there. There's a good video sent to me by Omar Said, but it is integrated with a song, so it is difficult for me to play it. I don't want trouble with the YouTube guys. The music rights people will be on my neck if I played that. But it talks about William Ruto castigating the Uhuru Kenyatta administration for the high cost of living. And now his mom, when every Kenyan is crying under the burden of his bad leadership policies, and then, of course, decisions made that are not helping the situation in the country. It is wrong what is going on in this country. And whatever that is happening, oh, by the way, IMF has added more money for William Ruto to borrow. So he can borrow as much as he can borrow. And of course, it is not helping the economy by borrowing more. Because if you are borrowing more to invest, then it makes sense. But if you are borrowing to eat, it is not working. It's not helping the situation. Let's just get this and go back to Domi. Na kama mwingie studio tunafunga.
Hakuna hata tax moja tumeongeza. Na hakuna hata tax itaongezwa. Mtaona katika budget yetu ya mwezi wa sita tutakuwa tunapunguza taxes. Na mimi nataka niwaambie hivi, serikali ya Kenya hakuna hata tax moja tumeongeza. Na hakuna hata tax itaongezwa. Mtaona katika budget yetu ya mwezi wa sita tutakuwa tunapunguza taxes.
Okay. Hiyo Bishop Mwaura anasema sio uongo. Hiyo ni kama alisema uongo basi Mungu ndo alianza. Yesu akafuata. Tomi.
Now, I'm trying to imagine the confidence of Bishop Mwaura's church. Just trying to imagine what is going on in their heads when they hear that. You know, when Jesus said, I am coming soon, the Bible says to him 1,000 years is like one day, and vice versa. To him, he owns time. And he did not even specify when. So if he says soon, to him it may be, his soon may be 1,000 years. We don't know. And he said he will not tell us when, but he will come. Ruto told us when. He says 2 months. He said 1 month. He said 100 days. He said immediately. Now, Ruto told us that when it gets to mwezi wa sita, it's very, very clear. When it gets to June, he's going to reduce the taxes. What happened? He increased the taxes. David Lee is telling us that, you see, according to his statement, we are not collecting enough money. Yeah? I'm quoting David Lee's statement. We are not collecting enough money. But things are going to be soon. They are going to be soon better. If you are not collecting enough money now, that soon, where is the money going to get? Where are you going to get money to make things better? You see, I don't know how, what these guys take us for. Yani hawa watu wameona sisi ni wajinga. They see us fools. What? They see Kenyans as fools. They can lie, they want the way they want. They can say whatever they want. No, after all, nobody will question. Is that the way we're going to live in Kenya? Really? Kuna mtu alisema they started off by saying najivunia kwa Mkenya. Another one came another one came and said that najihurumia kwa Mkenya. You know, tulikuwa tunajivunia, sasa hizi tunajihurumia. Being a Kenyan is, you know, somebody was asking a question.
Ni kuvumilia.
Sasa ilitoka kujihurumia, sasa ni kuvumilia. Now you persevere. Being a Kenyan, you persevere. And the guy said, and the guy does not care. Anawaambia kama mnalalamika. I saw that clip and I was like, hey. He said, kama mnalalamika sasa ndio mtalalamika sana. Is this guy for real? I don't know if you saw that clip. He was saying, sasa kama mnalalamika sahi ndio mtalalamika sana. What does he mean? He's deliberately doing that so mlalamika sasa ndio mtalalamika sana. He's promising no hope. At least even if things are so bad, patia watu at least kapanadol bwana. Patia watu panadol, some painkiller. People feel, at least make some hope. Let people have some hope that there's a future. Now you see you're putting people through extreme pain and you're not even giving them hope for tomorrow. Now, are you not creating some suicide? You know, something I've really, something funny that is something that is happening right now, Mr. Chairman. Kitambo, you would hardly, okay, like you'll take 2 days, 4 days, 5 days before you get somebody asking you, maze nirushie ka 200. Right now, almost every day, somebody is asking you, please help me 1,000 shillings, help me 100 shillings, help me 50 bob, nitumie credit. In one day, you are likely to spend 1,000 shillings. Kusaidia, which was not last year. Last year, people are not that bad, but right now, things are so bad. It is sad, you know. I'm not saying that we don't hatutaki kusaidia, but the picture is bringing is the situation is so bad. People are in a bad state. If mwanaume mzima anakuomba pesa leo, after 3 days tena atakuomba pesa. After about 3 days, 4-5 days tena anakuomba. You know that there's something bad. Na mtu mwenye alikuwa anajiwezea mwenyewe. Things are so bad. And now, bado mtu anakuambia kama mnalalamika, sasa ndio mtalalamika sana. Is this guy a sadist? And you know, he tells us a few weeks ago, he was saying, you see, we are going to reduce people traveling outside. Before he finishes speaking, he's already in Congo. Now, what are you saying? And he's not definitely not going alone. He's going with several people. Really, what are you saying? You are telling us that you are going to stop people from going traveling out, and and the next day you are already in air. By the way, I came to a conclusion that this guy, I think there is a pastor, some prophet in I think he's in Kisumu, who was telling him that, you see, you are praying somewhere in the mountain somewhere with a white shirt. And he's described him so many what he did so many years and the covenant he put with God. Now, the question is, was he praying to God so that to be president for prestige? Really? I don't know. You know, the worst thing that can ever happen to a man. By the way, I think for Kenyans, I think let us get this correction. Let me correct this statement that Kenyans have had in their mind. Leadership is not a gift. Leadership, it is a duty. Leadership is not a gift, it's a duty. In fact, if you can check okay, if we go, okay, my reference my reference is usually the Bible, where to me that's the best reference I use. You go read the Bible, you'll hear about the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Leadership is not part of it. The gifts are supposed to help you lead. The ability that you have should help you lead. But leadership is not a gift, it is a duty. You don't get into leadership as a gift or a reward. Okay, you may call it a reward. Okay, you have been rewarded by being added chair, yes. But it is not just a reward, it is a duty you are given. You are supposed to do something that is taking you there. You are supposed to bring a positive effect. You're not just, you're not like Ruto. What he came for in power was in power to make money and to enjoy. So it does not matter whether all Kenyans die, you die. After all, I'm flying in aeroplanes, I'm going out, I can go wherever I want. After all, it's not my money. I'm not spending my money. I'm spending your money to go wherever I want. Really, is that what we ended? If somebody, and I will say it again, if somebody comes and this manifesto cannot be explained, if somebody comes again to bring you a manifesto that cannot be explained, be sure that it is not going to work. Be sure that it's not workable. If you cannot explain it, you cannot work it out. When Ruto was coming, was telling us about bottom up, they were not able to explain what bottom up is. That is why it's not working. They had no plan. Walishtukia wako hapo. They did not, by the way, they did not know that they were going to get power. So they just found themselves there. Wakati alijipata hapo, instead of organizing himself, unajua saa zingine vitu zinakujaga na ukashtukia uko pale. The first thing you should do is to reorganize yourself. Now you set your mind into what am I supposed to do? That should be the first thing. That when Solomon got into power at an early age, what did he ask God for? He did not ask for himself. He asked for the people. I want wisdom to lead your people. That was the focus. Ruto's focus is himself. I want ability to feed myself and play to do whatever I want. So probably that's all that he wanted. So we are feeding the gluttony of one person. We are just here to feed the greed of one person. Unasikia nani amesukuma nani Mutua, because Mutua challenged him on what was wrong. Now he pushes Mutua to go and see and takes goes to the airport to, with the cameras. Oh, we have KRA has gotten this out of the checking of the look. Oh, how many guns they have gotten? See how many what? Now, a gun can be scanned in a box, in the box. You do not have to open that box for them to know that there's a gun in. A gun can be scanned. You don't have to open every box of everybody. So you let these guys not use that. That's an excuse of harassing people in the airport, my friend.
That's what you get when you get a villager and give him a city. He will turn the city to a village. That is all that we're experiencing right now. Mtu ambaye haelewi international relations, haelewi how a country is governed and how an economy is sustained. He's running down everything because, like I said, he doesn't know what to do. He's busy doing what he knows. And whatever he knows is not good enough to help the situation in the country. What we need as Kenyans is to begin to internalize the reality of what we are faced with and find a solution as fast as possible.
Eating everything that he finds in the house.
Yes, eating is part of what he knows, so he has to do that. And the problem is he doesn't even know how to eat so that he doesn't fall by that. Okay, even Kenyans have learned something. Let's listen to this one.
Watu watatu wakiwemo wafanyakazi wawili wa kampuni ya Wells Fargo wanaodaiwa kuiba zaidi ya shilingi milioni 94. Pesa hizo zilikuwa zimekusanywa kutoka maduka ya Quickmart na zilikuwa zikipelekwa katika benki moja katikati mwa jiji la Nairobi.
Ni katika eneo hili la kutupataka la Dafam South Sea ambapo gari hilo aina ya Mitsubishi Canter linalomilikiwa na kampuni ya Wells Fargo lilipatikana limetupwa zaidi ya saa moja baada ya kuondoka ndani ya kampuni na wafanyikazi wawili, ikiwa imebeba zaidi ya shilingi milioni 94. Kulingana na walioshuhudia, gari hilo liliegeshwa hapa na dereva mwendo wa saa 1:30 asubuhi na akaondoka. Baada ya dakika chache, dereva alirejea na watu wengine wawili, wakati huu wakiwa na gari jingine. Moja kwa moja walifungua upande wa nyuma wa gari la Wells Fargo na kutoa masanduku yaliyokuwa na pesa na kuweka ndani ya gari jingine kabla ya kuondoka haraka. Kulingana na ripoti iliyoandikishwa katika kituo cha Lang'ata, kampuni ya Wells Fargo ilisema kuwa wafanyikazi wawili, Anthony Nduki ambaye ni dereva na Charles Mugetha, waliondoka ndani ya kampuni bila ulinzi wa polisi kama ilivyotarajiwa, na zaidi ya shilingi milioni 94 ambazo zilikuwa zimekusanywa kutoka maduka ya jumla ya Quickmart na ambazo zilikuwa zikipelekwa katika benki ya Family tawi la Kenyatta Avenue. Maafisa waliokuwa watoe ulinzi ndio waliopiga ripoti kuhusu kutoweka kwa wawili hao. Maafisa wa upelelezi wameanzisha uchunguzi wakiwahoji wafanyikazi na kuchunguza kamera za CCTV wakilenga kutafuta gari walilotumia kutoweka. Gatete Njoroge, runinga ya Citizen.
Haya. If you want to eat alone, there are those who also want to eat. So, kama utaki kutulipa, tajilipa. Kama utaki kulinda rasilimali, basi sisi tutakuwekea vizuri. Hapo ndio tumefika kama wa Kenya. Story ya scanning. Scanning is, Alex says, my gun cannot be scanned. How? What do you mean? Yako ni ya plastic, ama ni gani, ama ni ile toy? Okay, I'll just give you an example. I was preaching somewhere in Bungoma, and I had to catch a flight back to Nairobi after the service. It was a Sunday morning. Then by around 4 I was to catch a flight, get back to Nairobi. I was having a program the following day. So what happened is, after the session, kukawa na ile Pentecostal handshake. Pentecostal handshake ni ile unapewa sadaka ya kuaga. Okay. So people greet you and all that. So they drop something in your hand. So what happened is, because there was no time ya kuhesabu hii sadaka ama nini, ilifungwa tu hivi na kitambaa na mimi nikawekwa kwa gari. Then we began to rush to go and catch up with what? The flight in Kisumu. So you can imagine the distance from Bungoma to Kisumu. So we needed like some 2 hours. We had a serious vehicle. So made it to the airport, and since I did not have the how to kuhesabu pesa na nini, hiyo sadaka ilikuwa imekunjwa hivi na kitambaa. So I just threw it in my bag. And then now got into the airport. When I was checking in, si bag ikapita kwa hiyo scanner. Ikachora hiyo picha, hiyo pesa vile imefungwa hivi, ma coins zote. So hiyo bag ikawekwa kando. Nikauliza mbona nikamwambia sadaka. Huyo polisi akasema, wewe ni mchungaji, anambia tena mkubwa sana, kwa hivyo usintafie na maneno ya sadaka ni ya kwangu. But I'm giving you that story to let you know that even if you have 1 coin, okay, in the bag, the scanner will be able to tell is there. So hii story ingine ya kupinduliwa nguo ati nini wanatafuta kitu, hiyo ni story tu, wanataka kuharibu uchumi. And I don't understand why you should want to run down an economy that you are milking with every passing day. Something is amiss somewhere. And then, of course, running away from ghosts that don't exist. Okay, who said that they should now... Mtu ametoka America, amepita na gani yake, kapita kama ni Dubai, amepita Dubai na hiyo gani, amefika kama ni Amsterdam, amepita Amsterdam na hiyo gani, amefika Nairobi. Jomo Kenyatta hapo ndio mtashikia gani? Okay, haikufanya maovu nchi ya yote, imekuja kuifanya Kenya. Tafadhali chukueni huyu mtu mrudishe mahali mlimtoa. Mimi sioni kama ana faida yoyote kwa nchi hii. Afai katika uongozi kabisa, haelewi uongozi nini. And then hii story ya Subra, wacha nisome kitu hapo kabla nilete video. Nataka kuleta ya kucheka kidogo kwanza ndio turudi kwa ile ya kawaida. Ile nini? Subra, okay? Ile Subra. When we were growing up and we had okay, like kuna njaa, okay? Kuna njaa, ile njaa. And then mahindi yajakuwa ready. Kuna ile second weeding. Those of you are villagers, you understand what I'm talking about. The second weeding. And so you will go to weed very early in the morning, and then of course you will drink the flat porridge. Flat porridge means porridge ya mahindi lakini haina sukari, haina chochote. But you will endure, okay? Because you want energy. But what are you looking forward to? Is harvest time. Haya mahindi. Then before like a month or so, the beans will be ready. If the beans are not ready, my mother will pick the leaves of the beans and cook them as vegetables. We are eating as we are hoping for the harvest. Hii Subra ya Ruto tunangoja nini? Amepanda nini? What has he grown? What is he waiting to mature? Is it his brain? Is it his height? Is it his skin color? What has he grown that is growing fast so that when harvest time arrives, the economy will turn around? So hii story ya yeye kwenda kukubaliana na bishop kwenda kuhubiri mahubiri ambaye hana kichwa wala mguu, it's madness. William Ruto should tell us boreholes amechimba 500 wapi northeastern, na hiyo yote ametreat, ameweka kwa irrigation. Mahindi imeanza kumetameta, miezi 3 tu mtaona mahindi. That will make sense. But you are jumping from plane to plane. From after you are done with plane to plane, from Subaru to Subaru, from Subaru to Subaru. Then you are telling us to wait. What are we waiting for? To be taken to the grave? So Kenyans, dalili ya mvua ni mawingu, okay? Nionyeshe mawingu. Ni nini tunasubiri kutoka kwa William Ruto? Ni kipi ambacho amekifanya? He has borrowed in 1 year more than Uhuru Kenyatta did in 5 years. The problem is Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed, we saw expressway. Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed, we have seen bypass everywhere. What is William Ruto borrowing to do? What project is he undertaking? What construction is taking place? Healthcare imeanguka, education imeanguka. I mean, what is working? And so as we ventilate on this, without bad-mouthing anybody, iko kitu makosa hapa. Alafu akienda kanisani badala ahubiriwe atubu, wanamhubiri kumsupport katika uongo na kupotea kwake katika, you know, that means they hate him. Okay? Because Biblia inasema baba anayependa mtoto atafanya nini? Atamrudi ili amrekebishe. Lakini yule asiyependa mtoto atafanya nini? Atamuacha tu katika maovu. So what these bishops are telling Zakayo, which Zakayo is not listening to, is that they hate him and they don't want him even in heaven. So they support him in his lies so that he can get lost completely. But as foolish as he is, he celebrates the same. He celebrates the same. All the same, let's keep doing. Okay, thank you. Where are we? Alex is talking about what? Okay, hapo juu tuanzie hapo juu. Kenya Airport Authority is a global cartel. With free visa loading, Nigerians are celebrating. There will be no more scanner policy too. Now that's also the paradox. Okay, you are telling people to come without visa. You now want to scan their shoes, scan their teeth, scan their everything. It will soon be free for all. Okay, come, go whenever you want, whenever you are ready. That is crazy. That is crazy. All we need to do is correct our wrongs. So nataka tucheke kidogo kabla Doni away on the same, and then we begin to conclude. It's already 1 o'clock, some minutes to 1 o'clock. Nimeleta tu kucheka kidogo tu, alafu tuendelee.
Few moments later.
Lero, lero, ni lero. Lero, lero, ni lero.
Hiyo Ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila kona, kila kona, kila.
Few moments later.
Lero, lero, ni lero. Lero, lero, ni lero.
Very funny.
Mitego iliteguka.
The first shock he got when he was supposed to be greeting the prime minister to invite him in, mpaka kashangaa, ai we ni nani huyu? Now you see he's there. He had to greet him and usher him in. And the same guy he said that kuna mitego ameweka, he's going to see to the president, not to just everybody, to show him that this is not your equal. And it was a very firm statement to show him that he is not he is equal. Hey, Gachagua, cheza ligi yako bana. Now, okay. Now, you know, there's another misconception, another lie that Kenyans have followed all through. You know, Kenyans want to believe that Ruto is not doing anything because he's paying debts. I want to ask somebody, because according to what one of those things that some previous video of some journalist was presenting about the Eurobond is supposed to be paid. When was Eurobond? I think it was was it 2015 or so?
20, yeah, it was in the first term of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah, it was in the first term of Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah, it should be around 2014, 2015, thereabout.
Now, are you telling me that from 2015 it has never been paid? No.
Okay, usually those are Eurobond bonds. Bonds have they work in it's like a post-dated check. Okay, when there is a time frame, so you get the money, use the money, but at this particular date, bring it. You get, so you borrow with that time frame. It's like the same, like even the local bonds. Zile za serikali hapa. You have money, you are not ready. I mean, you have money and you are not ready to use it. You will use it in 10 years. So you go and buy bonds that will last for 10 years. After 10 years, you should be paid, then you give back the bond. But now what happens with the with this is that you borrowed money, you did not invest it. You ate it. So siku ya kulipa, hakuna kitu. That's the paradox. But if you borrow that money for 10 years or yes, a period of 10 years, then you invested it. It will not be a big deal to pay because that money will have multiplied. Like there's a preacher who keeps on saying something. Okay, I have issues with him personally, but he keeps on talking of the, what is it called? The copper mining in Zambia. Is a Zimbabwean. Then he's talking about there's a company that took over the copper mining in Zambia. They were buying it, okay, from the Zambia government. And what happened? Whatever price that the Zambia government gave, they did what they say. They will pay you 50%, and then they will pay the other 50%. And said the first year when they engaged the mining and the business of copper, they were able to make more money than what that farm has been making under the Zambian government all the time. So what happened? In 1 year, they had already paid the money that the Zambian government wanted for the Nini. So they have a whole lifetime to run their company the way they want, because they don't owe anybody anything. So we borrow money instead of us investing that money so that that money multiplies and then it becomes easy for us to pay back. We eat it. Like Eurobond did not land. You had what Jimmy Wanjiku was sharing on Spice the day before yesterday. Okay. It says hey God, or Lara was saying that we analyze that the SGR, okay, the SGR was to be funded 90% from China. Kenya was to get what? To pay 10%. Okay. Then according to the records from KRA, from the Treasury, okay, the 90% was to be 500 billion, okay, which came in from China. Then now the miracle is with the 10% of Kenya, okay. When China gives us 500 million for the 90% of the SGR, okay, as we pay them, or rather we contribute to the same project, our 10% is 615 billion. So we surpassed the 90. Our 10%, our 10% is bigger than 90% of the same project. So that mathematics doesn't add up anywhere. And all of it is because somebody wants to eat everything. And so the Eurobond is due to be paid now. This time ilikuwa ifanye kazi ili igenerate pesa ya kulipa. So saa hii badala kwa sababu waliikula, waanza kusurura kutafuta pesa ingine ya kulipa hiyo, na wanafanya nini? They are borrowing here so that they go and pay here, and then they are doing that ile merry-go-round. Nikopeshe, nilipe, alafu nikope. You can take it.
Okay. Okay, so it means it's mature now.
It's mature in 2024.
Hey, okay. Dunia mbaya. Dunia mbaya. Now, you see, when you were borrowing, okay, when in 2024 was coming near, are you saying these guys did not have in mind that they were supposed to pay a debt? I don't know. And will that be blamed to Uhuru's second term? I don't know. Okay. other than Eurobond, was Uhuru not paying debts? Because I remember so many times, so several times he paid. He was supposed to be paying. I think some, probably. I think I heard of paying the debt. I think 3 times in that the second term of Uhuru. He paid some money. He was paying some money. Okay, in essence, what I mean is Uhuru was paying his debt without talking. Ruto just shut up and pay the debt. Tafadhali, hatuhitaji kelele. Stop behaving like a chicken. When milking a cow, a cow is going to give you even 50 liters silently. But when a hen lays an egg, 1 egg, not even 2, 1 egg, which is hardly 100 grams, it makes noise everywhere. Everybody to hear what it. My friend, wacha kuwa kama kuku. Lipa madeni kama umenyamaza. There is this statement that Ruto used to use so many times. Be man enough and do your responsibility. I wish I would have at one point have a chance of speaking to Ruto. I'll just tell you, be man enough. The way he was saying, he used to tell people be man enough. I will also tell him be man enough. Alipe madeni bila kulalamika. After all, is he not getting taxing people? Now he has taxed. He is overtaxing people, yet he cannot pay. He's not paying the debts. I mean, yet he's not doing anything. At least, as you have been saying, Mr. Chairman, Uhuru alikopa pesa mingi according to them, and I call it in quotes. Alikopa pesa mingi in quotes, but we can see the project. We can see the project he did. Expressway is there. Your expressway is your shilingi 5. It's money. Go to everywhere on the okay. In most of the cities, he extended the two-way traffic. It was extended during Uhuru's reign. Ukiangalia Nakuru ali-extend towards pipeline. Na huko chini ali-extend mpaka ilipita Everready mpaka karibu kwa flyover ya gari ya kwenda ya train ya kwenda Kisumu. It's called some station inaitwa Junction. Huko he extended. On that road there are so many interchanges. Hizo ma interchanges sio pesa shilingi 5. We can see them. What has Ruto done after borrowing a lot of money? What has he done? Nothing. Sasa saizi analia, we are not getting the target. How can you get the target if you kama umefinya watu paka sasa biashara haziendelei? You should be looking for a way of kulisha ng'ombe. Wewe haulishi ng'ombe inakonda haina maziwa, unaendelea kuikamua na bila maziwa bado unakamua damu. Now you're expecting blood to turn into milk. I think so many a lot of some years ago, I used to see Ruto as a very smart guy. I don't know. Or is it, Pastor? I think there is a scripture in Romans chapter. Is it Romans? Romans chapter 1, verse 28. Somewhere there. That said, because they refused to retain God I think look, because they refused to retain God in their hearts, God gave them over to reprobate mind so that they can do things that are inconvenient. I think I'm right.
Yeah, it's Romans chapter 1.
Yeah. I believe if at all, I think to the extreme, I believe right now even Ruto amefika. Because he refused to retain God. So God has handed him over to reprobate mind. Sasa fanya ile kiasi yenye utafanya, unataka kufanya machafu haribu. Okay, go ahead and do whatever you want. To me, I feel that's where Ruto has gotten. If hata pastors, hata wachungaji pia hawezi mwambia, you know, there is a day tulikuwa na, okay, kwa church we had some conflict ya ukubwa, kila mtu anataka ukubwa, kila mtu anataka ukubwa. Then ikawa there is a vice deputy wa pastor of that time. Deputy wa pastor, wakati pastor alitolewa hapo akawekwa pale, sasa akawa promoted to be the pastor. He was fighting those people who are under him. And one of them told me that, ndugu, wakati unakuwa na watu kwa kanisa yako, those people who can challenge you, thank God for them. Because those people will make you keep reading the Bible. He will make you keep thinking on how best to perform, to do what is right. Because at least you have somebody who will tell you, brother, hapa you are wrong. If you miss somebody to tell you wrong, to point to tell you that you are to point out where you're wrong, I'm telling you, headed for trouble. Now that's what Ruto wants. He wants to do whatever he wants and not to be questioned.
Yes, and that's the surest way of his end. When you cannot, when nobody speaks to you. They say in our village that the cow that will get lost does not hear when others are calling. So that is it. When you can no longer hear any instruction, nobody speaks to you. When you get lost, nobody will ever know you are lost. And that is it. All in all, I want us to begin to wrap up kwa sababu mambo jinsi yalivyo. So let me play quickly these videos. Naona Harun naye anaingia, lakini wacha nimalizie hiyo homework yangu kwanza. Quickly, these two quick videos, then.
Government must be able to know that power is transient. And when you are put there, history will judge you very, very harshly, regardless of the amount of money you amass for yourself. We have seen people who are more powerful than you. They have exited power, and they have also exited this good earth of ours. They no longer enjoy what they amassed. You must be able to be a godly person, or if not godly, a spiritual person who understands the nature of humanity and the nature of relationships. Okay. You are put there as a responsible person to make sure that you can be counted in the history of this country, that you brought a change. If you don't do that, you are going to be cursed with your generation. Because whatever is happening right now, putting yourself in those positions is a position of curse. Because God has given you that responsibility. And the moment you take advantage of people who are weak, God is their judge. And when he comes down with that whip, you're not going to enjoy it.
For African passport holders is a hell. Do not go there. I hold an African passport, to be specific the Gambian passport, and I was only trying to travel, to pass through this airport, Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Kenya. But the officials there, even you have all the right documents and everything, they will still want to make you pay $100 or more just for them to leave you to get into your flights. Even you have all the right documents, even you have all the necessary documents. And they are not only doing these things like to other Africans, for example, Ugandans or maybe like other African passport holders, but they are also doing these things to some Kenyan citizens. You have to bribe these officials in order for you to be able to fly outside from Kenya through this airport, this Jomo Kenyatta airport. This is just madness. I mean, the Kenyan government should just make it legal to say, yes, every African citizens, all African passport holders should bribe Kenyan officials at this airport in order for you to be able to fly outside, because it is just going on. No one is talking about it. Could you just imagine me with my African passport trying to leave? Even I have all the necessary documents. These officials there are not letting me in, which means if I do not pay the bribery, I won't be able to get my flights. And you can also find so many videos of this. So many people are talking about this online, even the Kenyan citizens. I mean, other citizens as well. But the Kenyan government is doing nothing about this. If you are a Kenyan and you have experienced something like this, or you know someone who also have experienced something like this, let me know in the comment section. While Kenyans are making it so hard for the Africans to be able to live their own continent.
Okay, campaign ndio hiyo against Jomo Kenyatta Airport. Mlisema nyinyi ndio wajuaji, mnaweza kuwa watawala wa Afrika nzima. Look at the kind of campaign we are having. Our airport will soon become worse than Lagos. It is now worse. And all of it is because somebody wants to make a kill out of everything. We can't be having that kind of campaign taking place about us. Why? I mean, we can't do that. Where is our dignity? Where is our respect? Where now? How are we now being treated out there? We're even setting the other nations against us. Okay? Now soon you frustrate people at the airport, and Kenyans in foreign countries will begin to be mistreated because you mistreat the other people's at the airport. They will go back home, launch out a campaign. Then mnaanza kufukuzwa huko, mnasema eti hao ni wabaya. Na ubaya sisi ndio tulianza kupanda hiyo mbegu. Somebody has to speak sense to William Ruto. William Ruto is a madman. It's a madman, because only a mad person would do that. How do you go and frustrate foreigners and you are the one who is leading in traveling? No wonder he goes to wherever. Where did he go? And he was put in a bus. Yeah, they will put you in the next. It will be in that crane. You see the crane. You saw the teacher inside. That's where they are going to put you next.
In UK, when they went for the funeral.
No. There was one recently. He went to China or something. He couldn't use the private vehicle. They was carried to a bus. Through a bus, so that I think he thought somebody will exterminate him or something. And so we can't do this. We can't do this. And now mtoto yetu ndio alipewa hiyo Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Aite cabinet asset him in order, because tourists are not going to come. The Africans you are giving free visa are not going to come. And I'm not going to go to an airport. Nimewambia my experience in Kigali. If I hear is Kigali, I'm not going. Okay? Because mimi siwezi nimepiga tai yangu mzuri ya reverend, alafu nafika hapo ambia belt nishike huku, viatu nishike huku, laptop nishike hivi ati napita airport. Kwani nini? Kwani ni ng'ombe zinaingia cattle dip? Mwache ujinga. If you want to be civilized, be civilized. If you want to be semi-literate, just remain semi-literate. Tujue nini ni Stone Age, moja kwa moja. Hatuwezi kurudishwa nyuma miaka mingi namna hii. No. Let us style up. We cannot have this kind of campaign going on about our country. And we are silent. We can't. So Kenyans, kasirika na ukasirike vizuri. Ukasirika vizuri ni kuwa tayari kutekeleza wajibu wako kama Mkenya. Okay, thank you for participating into the poll. Does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? 115 people have cast their vote already. 6% say yes, they have what it takes. 94% say no, they don't have what it takes. 66 likes. 115. 50% of the people did not like the video. If you voted without liking the video, go back, like the video first. And then you can go wherever you enjoy doing, watching the show from. It's crazy. It's crazy. We cannot have the rest of the world campaigning against us. Jomo Kenyatta is Jomo Kenyatta because, and let me just give the history. There are those of you who don't like history. Jomo Kenyatta Airport was once called East Africa Airport. And it was built by East Africa before the fallout between Jomo Kenyatta, Nyerere, and Ozio Obote ama Idi Amin. Okay? But it was East Africa Airport. That's why it's the biggest and it is more viable as an international airport. It only changed to Jomo Kenyatta after the fallout or the collapse of East Africa Community. In the 80s or something like that. So we need not to play around with a resource like a regional airport. Jomo Kenyatta Airport is not a Kenyan airport, it's a regional airport. And it needs to be carried in that way. Watu wa KRA watolewe huko. Walienda huko kufanya nini? See, there is the custom section where everything that needs to be taken to custom, they go to custom. Not every person arrival should be subjected to custom. It doesn't work that way. So, kama Ruto anataka pesa mingi, atengeneze Wakenya wengi wafanye kazi. Sio kwenda kutegea watu wakikuja unaenda kwa sasa hiyo ni kupiga ngeta. Because there's no difference. Mimi narudi nyumbani unanipiga ngeta, kuninyang'anya hela ambayo nimeteseka nayo, Saudia nimeteseka, Kuwait nimeteseka huko nikifanya kazi. Kurudi unanipiga ngeta Jomo Kenyatta Airport. Pana, this bandit government must be brought to an end. Must be brought to its knees. Kenyans, get angry. Do what you must do. We can't let this country go to the dogs under our watch. So let's not relent in pushing for a better Kenya. Let's keep pushing until we obtain the Kenya that deserves to be called Kenya. It is that important. Okay, let's get this as we call it a day. Haruni ameenda alafu hajarudi.
Reign, there seems to be a significant slip in his grip over crowd control. Surprisingly, the president has recently found himself facing a hostile crowd as he continues with his tour of duty across the country amid harsh economic times. NTV's Brian Mushiri looks into these incidences.
Yeah, and please.
For a man whose crowd control and movement has been second to none. Recently, President William Ruto's crowd charm has tasted its limit. In the run-up to the last general election, he was commanding huge crowds, a projection of his win. However, currently, amidst the skyrocketing cost of living, the president is finding charming the crowd a hard nut to crack. This weekend, the president is in Mombasa, and on Friday, this amateur video surfaced online. The crowd there could be heard calling for the price of fuel to be lowered and even an end to the promises. Have a look. That's not all. Last week but one, on the 22nd of October 2023, President William Ruto attended a church service at Riruta, Dagoretti. Occasionally, after a church service, the president prefers to stop over at the nearest town to speak to locals, for those who did not get to hear from him in church. On this particular Sunday, the president pulled over at the junction leading to satellite Dagoretti. The crowd gave him a largely mellow reception. The president and the Kenya Kwanza legislators who had accompanied him had a hard time getting any answers from the crowd.
Kuhakikisha kwamba mtu akipata ajali anaenda hospitali, anaenda nyumbani, matibabu serikali ya Kenya itakuwa inalipa. Tumekubaliana watu wa Dagoretti. Tuendelee na hiyo kibarua. Si ndio? Dagoretti oye. Dagoretti mko.
It seems that President William Ruto's crowd charm is quickly shifting away. But why? Brian Mushiri, NTV, Nairobi.
Paper, the energy CS Banachirichira said that fuel will soon hit 300 per liter in Kenya. Reason? He says ni juu ya vita ya Israel na Hamas. Hey, wacha ni check. Yani wakati all over the world mafuta inapungua na all other governments are reducing the fuel prices, including our neighbors Tanzania, who yesterday reduced their price to 197 Kenyan shilling. Sisi hawa wezi wetu tuliowachagua sisi wenyewe are devising and scheming ways to milk us dry. Msidanganywe na mtu yeyote, vita ya Israel will not and has not affected international crude oil prices. These wakoras have just found a new justification to increase the prices. Look at this video, then be the judge, we mwenyewe.
All right, let's start with the good news. Consumers will breathe a sigh of relief. The petrol price dropping this week. The Central Energy Fund announcing that the petrol price will drop by R1.78 per litre from November. The change always on the first Wednesday. Diesel will decline by between 82 and 85 cents per litre. Eliminating paraffin will decrease by R1.30. The Israel-Hamas conflict has not yet affected the flow of crude oil, even though it is happening in the oil region of the Middle East.
Ruto and his team of clueless CSs wameshindwa kuongoza. They are incapable of managing this economy, but hawawezi kubali. Madam Suluhu is in fact doing a better job in Tanzania than us. Juzi tu Uganda have refused to buy fuel from us juu ya hii upuzi iko huku Kenya. They will now get their fuel via Tanzania. That should tell you the underlying effect of this government mismanagement of this economy. And I shudder to think how life will be when fuel hits 300 per liter. 300 per liter. Imagine. 300 per liter. Kenya tunaweza waambia ni kuleni ujeuri yenu. Muliambiwa before this election, hamukusikia, mukasema sijui togo keratene, sijui nini. Nao nawaambia pia mwokere tene mkule yu shida yenye mlituletea kubafu.
Haya, bwana
jamaa natutisi bwana.
Sisi tunafungasha.
Okay, about the fuel. Hapa tunanunua 3 dirham, which is about 120. If we put on we could add transport and na hizo vitu zingine, probably kama iko juu sana ingekuwa something like at least 180. To be fair, it should be about 180. Now, to be 180, the greater reason of being at 180 is not so much about the prices. It is the fall of the shilling. Imagine if the shilling was at 107 or 100 or at 120. the way it was, the fuel will not be that much. The more the shillings fall, the shilling fall, the higher the prices of fuel. Now, Chirchir, when he's talking of 300, I think he's not projecting, his projection is not about the price of the fuel, the international price of fuel. He could be right. And because he's projecting that the shilling probably by next year, it will be at 200 plus. He's projecting probably it will be 200, like 210 or 220. Then definitely the fuel will go at 300. I don't know what in his mind, but if I suspect that is what he's thinking. Now, these things is two way. Either they are thinking of a ticket, as you have said, Mr. Chairman. Everywhere the fuel is going down. The reality is everywhere the fuel went down, and Hamas cannot. Okay, Hamas is not. Hamas don't produce oil. Israel don't produce oil, so we don't expect the battle between Hamas and Israel to interfere anywhere with oil. Oil is not in Hamas. As we are talking, oil prices from, let me say, from August, not August. I think from July, it has been going lower and lower. So let nobody lie that the fuel prices are high. Let me shock you, Uncle. Are you just imagine as we are talking here where I am? Sugar. Sometimes we buy it 5 kgs. We buy 5 kgs of sugar at 5 kgs. We buy at about 600. Between 550 and 600. We are not producing sugar. It is a desert. But we are buying at 500, between 500 and 550 to 600. In Kenya, 2 kgs is 500. Look at that mathematics. I wonder. Rice is between, that is 5 kgs of rice. It's between, it's between 600 to, it's between 600, 800. There. 5 kgs. Now look at Kenya. Chicken is 500. I mean, not 500, it's about 300. 300 to 400. And these are a desert. Now, I wonder how Kenya, we have everything. Are you telling me that we cannot produce chicken at a lower price? What's going on? I think the problem here, the problem in Kenya is just man-made, practically man-made. It's not natural. The problem we are having in Kenya is man-made, practically man-made. It's not natural.
That's right,
I don't know.
Tommy. I agree with you 100%. Where the poverty we have is artificial, the scarcity we have is artificial, and including the debts. Okay, according to what Jimmy Wanjiki gave us yesterday, we were able to service the to build the SGR without borrowing anything, because our 10% is more than the 90% that was contributed by the Chinese company. And from the look of things, the country's borrowing is never for the country. It has always been for corruption. And now that corruption is eating us up little by little. We can't take this anymore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appreciate you so much for being part and parcel of the broadcast today. We've had a great day as we get set to join the Meru Governor impeachment program early in the morning. I think so. Unless they went for tea break and came back. But I just want us to be on the lookout. Let's not give up on the country. Let's not relent. Don't accept the condition of William Ruto in accepting that there is nothing we can do. There is always something we can do. Let's make noise where we are. Let's write articles. Let's send SMSs. Zakayo must go. He should leave this country alone. And we need our children to have a guaranteed future. We need to have this country built on the solid rock where we can be sure that tomorrow is going to be better than today. What is happening right now does not indicate any way that tomorrow is going to be better than today. We can't take this anymore. So let's get our act together as Kenyan people and let's condemn what is evil. Let's stand against what is evil. Don't support what you know outrightly that is wrong for the country, for you as an individual, and for your family. If you don't have any reason to fight, fight for your children. Fight for your children's children. Let it be known that you are on the forefront of stopping this country from collapse by standing up for the future generations. I salute everybody for being part and parcel of the conversation. I would want to, unless Domi has something to say briefly, tumalizie hapo. Mimi nataka kung'atuka kabisa kabisa.
We Alex, wacha uchokozi bwana. Okay, we appreciate all those and comment section. You are a big support. You made me laugh. But one thing that still stands as Mr. Chairman, you say we cannot take it lying down. We will not take it lying down. Who is Zakayo? By the way, is he a god? Kwani yeye ni Mungu? If Hitler died, Napoleon Bonaparte, waliisha kina nani, kina Stalin. Who is Ruto? Ruto is just a human being, flesh and blood. Anawasimamisha. Man, hata kama ni CSS, honestly, can you also stand up? How can just one person humiliate you? Ati anawapimia tu hewa. How? Sometimes bwana unapiga kelele hata unasimama juu ya meza. Bang the table. Make noise. Say no with a big loud voice. Kwani atawafanya nini? It gets to a point whereby you grow mad. You don't sit and watch things go wrong. Please. Kenyans. And this I'll tell hao wenye wako uongozi pamoja na Ruto. Get your heads back to normal. Get your hearts back to normal. Explode. Lipuka. Piga makelele. Vitu zingine mnakataa. How can he control? You see, ati mtu ni CS. Alafu the PS in the ministry is the one controlling everything. Sometimes just explode. Stand up and say no. Guys, don't take things lying down. Because at one point, you will regret for not speaking up. If you will not speak up today, there is a day you will regret why I had an opportunity but I did not speak up. Thank you for that. God bless you.
Back to you, Chairman.
Sawa, asante sana Domi, tunashukuru kwa mchango wako, maoni yako. Nashukuru kila mmoja ambaye amekuwa sehemu ya kipindi hiki. Tunakuomba tafadhali kuwa mstari wa mbele kushiriki na wengine ambao wangependa kufuatilia matangazo yetu. Tunakuomba kama huja subscribe tafadhali, na tuna channel mbili, kuna Sound Candid Talk and Sound Candid Talk Live. Subscribe to both channels because you never know when one will go off and the other one will be the saving day. So just to be on the safe side, make sure you are a bona fide subscriber on both channels. And if you can be a member for both, no problem. It will help a great deal. And it will also ensure that whenever we have an opportunity to air information, we will pass it across to you without fail. We are committed to what is right, what is true, and what is viable. What is the final verdict, as we call it a day? 124 votes in 2 hours into the show. And that is what does William Ruto team have what it takes to help Kenya? The percentages are the same. 6% say yes, 94% say no. So majority of Kenyans don't see any hope or any any future with Ruto as the driver of this country. And that is why we should kick him out of office. God bless you. See you in the next show.
Sound Candid Talk sasa imeboreshwa zaidi. Kila siku ya wiki asubuhi tunapambazuka na maabudu na sifa kwenye kipindi cha Daybreak Worship. Baadaye tunakuletea mahojiano ya moja kwa moja kwenye one-on-one show. Alafu tunakuletea taarifa zinazochipuka siku hiyo zikiwa ange kwenye In the News Headlines. Kisha tunaingia bungeni. Viongozi tuliowachagua tuangalie wanafanya nini bungeni.
On a daily basis, whenever the House is sitting, the order paper is here.
I take any work that I'm given very serious.
Na hili bunge lina wabunge wengi zaidi ya 300.
For the welfare and the society and the just government of the people. I, Gathoni wa Mushomba, say no to an oppressive bill.
Kisha baadaye usiku tunakutana kwenye Open Forum Political Show, kipindi kinachotadavua na kufafanua makala na taarifa zinazokuhusu zaidi.
Sasa hii ndiye time ya kuweka kila mtu question mark.
Umeenda mpaka umevuka border, umeanza kudanganya watu wenye wako US na nchi zingine.
Tazama Sound Candid Talk uelimike. Tukutane Sound Candid Talk.